Hello there, you're watching Rose Squad Reviews, and if we're honest, there are just some days where all you want to do in the world is to curl up, the blanket, and a nice cup of hot cocoa, and read a book. And this review is in honor of those days because this is our first book review. And before we get started, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the book and how it begins. And this book starts out with a description of the villain, and this guy is bad. Like, he is evil, with a capital E. He is bad to the bone, and he is looking for his next kill. And he spots this couple sitting on a hill, all innocent and lovely. And it's a skater dude and his homeschool girlfriend. And he strikes without mercy and kills the skater dude and just grazes his girlfriend. And that's how the book starts out. Now, there's one, maybe major detail that I've left out in this description, and that is that all the characters are animals. That's right, guys. We're going to be reviewing Poppy by Avi. And this is one of my books from childhood. Nostalgia. And because of that, I do not feel comfortable with giving this book a numbered review, like blank out of 5 stars or whatever. Just because I wouldn't know where to start. And so I'm going to give the review, and I will let you all judge for yourselves what you think this book should be rated. The villain I mentioned beforehand is Mr. Okax, and he's an owl who rules over Dimwood Forest. He keeps all of his subjects in line by requiring that they notify him whenever they decide to move out of their outside immediate area, and in exchange for doing this, he promises to protect them from the evil, menacing threat of the porcupines. Which, I read this book in 2nd grade, so I wasn't quite up to date on all the biological facts of porcupines. So some of you may know, what I didn't know reading this book, that porcupines are in fact herbivores. They do not eat meat at all. They eat like bark. So the fact that Mr. Okax, a meat-eating predator, is protecting them from this evil creature is somewhat amusing. And so, of course, you have to have a porcupine in the story, otherwise you just have to have him. And his name is Aerith, and he is this cantankerous, cranky, foul-mouthed general sweetheart. Also, something else I didn't really manage to pick up on in 2nd grade is that Aerith's full name, which is Erythison dorsatum, if I pronounced that correctly, because it's Latin. It's a Latin name for porcupines. And so, we have the villain, the comedy sidekick, and then finally, we give you our main character, Poppy. At the start of the book, she kind of is a little bit of a scaredy cat, but she kind of grows past that and overcomes those challenges, and we do get to see her grow as a character, which is nice. And she gets to go on her own little adventure. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's be honest here. This book is 160 pages. Exactly. And it is aimed for upper elementary students. Ages 8 to 12 to be exact. I looked it up. So these two factors could very well combine and give us a plot that is somewhat watered down and just kind of like, not all that exciting. And while this book is a whole lot more simple than a lot of other longer books that are targeted more towards older audiences, I think the author did a pretty good job. What I'm trying to say is that the plot moves on because of choices that the characters make and how their choices affect other characters, and then their choices, and not just for the sake of happening. Also, the details that this author puts into their writing really makes the story come alive. Like, the side characters have personality, guys, and just the little ways he decides to describe things. Like, he carefully picks his words to make every word count, so you don't have this long, superfluous description that you're just like, well, I don't really, now I'm even more confused. I don't even know what's going on anymore. But it's succinct and it makes sense, and it's a good description. On one hand, I feel like Avi, the author, could have ended this book at the second to last chapter. I mean, the last chapter is only like a page long. Like, literally, you have here, and then you have here with a picture at the bottom. And that's it. But I kind of realized why he did it that way. And I think that's partially because you get a little bit more of a nice ending when you close the book. Like, the last words you read are kind of like happily ever after, sort of, and not like Poppy's father being like, I told you so, when he just kind of recently jumped on the bandwagon and dadded her efforts the entire time. I read this in 2nd grade, guys, so it's not a whole lot you have to worry about. I mean, there's some character deaths. For example, Ragweed at the beginning, Poppy's boyfriend, he gets snuffed, but it's not like too graphic. Again, nothing a 2nd grader can't handle. We're actually going to talk about art in this one. You didn't think we were going to do this because usually books don't have art, but this one does. It has these wonderful little illustrations, if I can find one, here we go, that are done by Brian Flocka. And you might think that, oh, there's pictures in the book, and then that's going to dictate, you know, how I imagine the book to come out in my head. But that didn't happen for me. I was able to kind of illustrate my own little mind picture of what was going on, and the pictures didn't inhibit that at all. And then also, from a graphic design standpoint, the pictures are really, here's another one for your viewing convenience. They're really well placed, I think, and just, they complement the story. So, like, they describe what's going on, and then the people who designed the book also place them to fit nicely within the text and not be like awkward picture in the middle and you have to figure out what's going on, and it just flows very well. And Poppy is actually in a series. Technically this is the first book. It's the first book that was written, but there's like a prequel before this. So in total there's about like 6 books. Yeah. And they're all wonderful. That's pretty much all I have to say about this book. If you haven't read it, I would encourage you to read it. I mean, I really like it. So we are opening up an era of books here on this channel and on the blog. And I'm just really excited for that. So I hope you're excited as well and looking forward to our new book reviewing content. So this is why I'm going to sign off. See you guys later.